Welcome to Roof It Up. This is a podcast about innovators, entrepreneurs, business leaders, and their stories about the course they took by Saenz Global.
You're good.
Hey, I'm TJ McCormack. I'm here today on the Roof It Up podcast with my special guest, the owner of this podcast, Thais Saenz.
Hi.
Thais, we're going to talk a whole lot today about you and not about me. You get to interview other people all the time, and you're always the one helping everybody else grow. We're going to do just that with you today.
That sounds good. So excited. This was like a fun idea that TJ came up with. I was like, all right, let's give it a try. So I'm really excited.
Well,
So
you only live once.
You only live once. Let's do it. Let's do it.
So let's go ahead and just jump into it. We're going to get started. So tell me a little bit about yourself. Where did you start in this world?
All right. I legitimately started in a hut in the Amazon jungle.
Wow.
In a little place. If back in the day, it was so small, it wasn't even on a map. It's called Benjamin Constant. It's in the Amazon. So if you fly to Manaus, the capital of the jungle, it will take you 5 days on a boat to get to where I was born.
Wow.
So that's where I was born.
Nice. And then, of course, now you're here in the United States. How long have you been here in the United States?
Yeah. So I've been in the U.S. now. It's like 25 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been here for a while.
Well, now you own Saenz Global,
Yes.
back office support for roofers.
Yes.
And tell us how you got started in roofing as a trade, and then why you chose Saenz Global.
I had, traditional corporate life. I was like, my trajectory in life was just to be really successful in corporate America. So I was in it for, 10 plus years, climbing the corporate ladder. And I was actually working with manufacturing.
Right.
Okay. So I used to just work with, franchise owners and the whole construction, all this stuff. And 2020 hit, I heard a podcast, like what's happening now. And in the podcast, the owner of the business said the best thing I ever did was go virtual, meaning I hired virtual admins for. He said it was like the best thing he ever did for his business. So it kind of just stuck with me. Okay. And then I was pregnant with my second child all the things COVID. Okay. And I had a friend she's called Abby, and she started a company that's called the Virtual Savvy, and it teaches people how to have their companies in the virtual realm.
Wow.
So my sister-in-law started her own company, Distilable Life, and then I was helping her out, giving her tips. And my husband's like, why don't you just start your own? I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. And then I started my own. And then long story short, started my own business, resigned corporate America 5 months later. And then I got a roofer called PRQ Roofing. Shout out to Pat.
What's up, PRQ?
Yes. Shout out to Pat and his team. And we fell in love with the roofing industry. We loved all the things from pulling permits, scheduling inspections, all this stuff involved with it. Marie McMillan, which is my sidekick. She is thebomb.com.
I love Maria.
Yes.
She's great.
She's incredible. She learned.
Hi, Maria.
Yes. We love you. She learned all of the things that we needed in roofing. And we're like, you know what? We really like this world. Why don't we just go only after supporting roofers? And then that's how it all started. And we called it Saenz Global.
Well, let me go back just a little bit. So you have a family.
Yes.
How many, you have a husband?
I have an awesome husband.
I wasn't going to say how many husbands, but you only have one.
But, only have one.
But how many kids do you have?
I have 2 kids. Yeah. I have Tiago. He's 5. Very Brazilian name, by the way. If you're like.
Tiago,
yes.
Hello, my name is Tiago Saenz, and I am my lunch.
Wow.
Yes.
Nice. So now we can fast forward a little bit.
Yes.
So you got PRQ under your belt.
Yes.
And then you started getting some other roofing companies.
Yeah.
That started to be attracted to your model.
Right.
What is it that you guys do that can help roofing companies on their day to?
What do we see that roofers again, we love the roofing industry. We legitimately think you guys are superheroes. You are putting on, I feel like, the most important part of a home or a building, right? Without the roof, everything goes to crap, right?
Every single building in the world has a roof.
All of them.
Right.
And so I know, so for me, I'm the roof is so vital, seriously, so vital. So anyways, back to that. So what we've seen in our time in the roofing industry is that there are some roofing companies that look so badass on the outside. We're like, whoa, And that inside, they're a disaster.
Yes.
Right. And so what I really believe is there is a really, really great way, and we get to work with them. Like I would shout out to PureQ again. This is like a great example. Really healthy company on the outside and really healthy company on the inside. And so these companies, the owners, right? Your goal is to build something that's going to last, right? And so how you can build it internally is having your admin be a machine. And that's what we are. We really call ourselves, we're an admin machine for a roofing machine, right? That's what we do.
So I find that we were having a conversation earlier about just this. And a lot of times roofing company owners come from the sales side because they made a lot of money really quickly. And now they see an opportunity to open up a new business. But the problem typically isn't that they just opened up a new business, is that they didn't learn the business all the way before they started on the ownership side while they were on the sales side.
100%.
Yeah. And so what is the one thing that you see every day that if you could go and tell the world what it is that needs to be fixed, what would that be? Say three things.
Okay. So and specifically for the roofing industry.
Yeah.
So I would say 1, hire your team and let them do their magic. So if you have really, like yourself, if you're a roofing owner, you most likely at one point were in sales, right? Which is the majority of the story. What is it that you most enjoy doing? What do you thrive? What gives you an adrenaline? It's selling.
Yeah.
It's not doing administrative tasks. So hire individuals with the talent and let them do their magic and give them the resources that they need so that they can really focus on what they like to do and bring in a team that really love what they love to do, which is admin, and let your people do what they're really good at. Like let people do their sphere of genius. That's how you're going to retain a lot more talent, a lot longer, and you're going to have a lot healthier and better team.
Yeah. Typically, whenever somebody comes to work for you as a salesperson, they last less than a year and a half, and they're not even going to reach their full potential till 2 years. So a lot of times we're building salespeople or roofing companies from the ground up, and our people are leaving at a year and a half before they're even great at what they did. Yeah. So the culture is definitely something that they have to fix in order to be more successful.
Totally. And I think also like, build a company that, that's my motto. It's like, build a company that you would love to work at. Right. And that is just like, build a culture within your company that people don't want to leave, right? That they want to be part of the mission, the journey, like give people are not just simply driven by money. Money is absolutely part of why people are driven, but people want to feel part of a mission. So as an owner, you can really build this incredible culture in your company where you give people the ability to do their magic, you don't have to micromanage them. You hire and you trust them, right? And that's how the culture of your company can be. And like, you can have a freaking incredible company, and we see it all the time. And that's one of the things in our company as well.
In the 90s, or even not the 90s, the 80s and 90s, when I was growing up, it was a big thing for longevity and career. Everybody worked until their career was over at 20 years or 25 years, and then they retired, and then maybe they went to do something else. Now we're 2 to 5 years into a job, and we're going to do something else or maybe work for somebody else. So Hunter Ballou talks a lot about legacy, and but really, it's culture and growing your business. The legacy comes from how great you ran your company, not because of something you did personally.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah. So what is it that you guys do more of in your back office support? What's one great big task that you guys do?
So for some roofing owners, we literally run their whole admin department, right? So we do everything from beginning to end. When that is like leads are coming in, we're actually reaching out, scheduling appointments, all of those good things. We're using measurement tools to get those measurements for their team ready to go before they go to the visit, getting the estimates ready. Once the estimates are ready, contracts, sending them out, making sure those are ready. And so we're using tools such as Roofer, and so many others, but Roofer is definitely one of our favorites. We're doing DIYs as well, using that system.
While we're there, let's talk about it for a second. So I work for a company called Roofer. I'm the community manager.
Love it.
You know that.
Yes.
But for your audience, maybe they don't know who I am. Tell us a little bit about how you use our aerial measurements or our DIY, our instant estimator. or sales proposals?
When you have us as your admin team, we actually are really great at the DIY. So for example, we work with a roofing company in California that we love. We're pumping out about 69 DIY drawings a week, preparing estimates. Before we prepare the estimate, right, using Roofer, we're also going in and doing the DIY drawing. So
and that saves so much money.
So much money. I think it's a penny to 30 cents per DIY.
Wow.
Like we're saving them thousands of dollars at the end of the year. Yeah. So that's one thing. And we actually love doing that. That's another thing. Like our team is actually built of admin people that love admin. Like, right. We love it. You know, it's like our jam.
Admin nerds.
Yes, totally.
Tech nerd.
We're using these tools that Roofer provides to really provide our roofers the ability to provide exceptional support and exceptional ability to capture a sale by being the first ones to it.
Are there any other programs that you're using inside the roofing industry outside of Roofer that have been great for you guys?
Yeah, so we use all the CRMs, right? So like AccuLinks, Job Nimbus, we're like really big fans of them. I know there's tons of other CRMs out there, but those are the two main ones that we really enjoy using. There's HubSpot, all those good things as well. I can name all of them, but if you want me, like Rooflink, Job Progress, all of them. Yeah.
Every roofer's like, you forgot to say Sumo Quote.
Oh yeah, and Sumo Quote. Yes, we use Sumo Quote as well. And then just like any single tool that any of the roofers use, we are inside of them. And when we work with our roofer, we're not a third party. So we're not Saenz Global. So let's say you have roofer shingles or whatever, right? We are roofer shingles when we're on your team.
So you also don't just do the admin support. You also are doing a lot more. You're like getting the referrals as well. Yeah.
So after, let's say you're pulling your permits, scheduling your inspections. For some roofers, we actually order the materials as well. So if there's a template, it's already been used and there's a process and procedure, we can absolutely pull that. We schedule your crews. We are also scheduling your dumpsters. We are then making sure the material is going to arrive on time. And then after that, we then work, if you're using, we don't do any supplementing, but we assist in like the process, the back and forth. We're following up with insurance. And then also once the project is done and completed, we're pulling warranties. We're sending out the final documentation that for everything. So the elevation of the client experience is really high. Right. And then we're also, depending on the roofer, if he's like, after the job is completed, everything's paid, within 48 hours, can you give them a call on our behalf, see how their experience was? We love customer experience. My background is also Nordstrom, you know?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so if you know anything about Nordstrom, they were literally in all my university books.
I don't know regular Nordstrom. I know Nordstrom Rack.
Yes, but Nordstrom is in a lot of college books back in the day, university books, because of its exceptional client experience. Well, that's where my background is. So that's when I first got started, like in management. So client experience is a big thing for us. So then when we're part of your team, we're really elevating the client experience as well.
Sure. So let's talk about the culture in your office for a second. How many employees do you have? 41. And I hear a little birdie told me that nobody has ever left your company.
No. Yeah. It's been 2 years and we've never had anyone leave.
Well, that's great. Tell me why that is.
I think because when I decided to build Saenz Global, I would always read the great stories in the books of like companies that I kind of admired.
What's your favorite book?
QBQ, to be honest, which is the question behind a question. But yeah, when I built the company, it was all about hiring people that were smarter than me. And I knew that from the beginning, like I have to hire people smarter than me. I have to let them do their magic and I just have to give them the resources and I have to just bring them on the mission. And that's been the whole culture of our company.
Have you had any failures?
100%.
Yeah.
The beginning of this whole journey, if Maria McMillan's been with us since the beginning, it was like I would get punched like 100 times a day. Because how I started Saenz Global was just cold calling. I was calling all the roofers I could, just cold calling and trying to introduce them to this, what we do. Concept, right? And it was like, hang up. This sounds crazy. Hang up. And it was just rejection after rejection after rejection. So I'm always super thankful for like the people and the roofers like who first took the first adopters, right? Any time new technology or something new comes out, it's obviously such a risk, but also there's so much to gain. So I'm always like now, anytime someone comes up with something new, I'm like, I'll be an early adopter because you gain so much from being an early adopter a lot of times. So anyways, super thankful, but I got rejected a lot. It was really hard.
What do you, as a business owner,
Mm-hmm.
what have you found hardest in your business?
For me, to be honest, the hardest part for me is I tend to be a martyr. So I'm like, everyone else gets taken care of. Everyone needs to maintain, and then I'm like the last, right? Which I'm learning.
Why do you think I wanted to do this podcast with you? Because you always think about everybody else and not yourself.
But yeah, that's what I'm learning. I'm learning through that with some coaching and stuff like that. And it's just kind of like, you have to be able to take care of yourself someone told me, a coach told me, they're like, if the king doesn't rise, the kingdom dies. Right. And so it's like, you have to rise for your people. You have to take care of yourself as well. But I tend to really struggle with being a martyr.
So tell me a little bit about your culture inside of your company. What are the people like?
Yeah, I'm not kidding. The people on our team are amazing. And I'm not just saying that because like I know them through Zoom, all this stuff. I actually like got to go and meet like a lot of them in person.
Yeah. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so we did an event in Argentina. Our team is
Argentina. That's not the United States.
No, our team is on the U.S., Argentina, and Brazil.
Oh.
And the cool thing about our story is that I always say good people know good people. And so my first hire ever was a good friend of mine, one of my best friends that I grew up with here in the U.S., but she had to go back to Argentina. So she speaks English just like me. We are immigrated to this country, right? But we have pretty good English. Sometimes our accent come out. But anyway, she had to go back to Argentina. She had a phenomenal job, and the company, due to just COVID and everything happening in Argentina, completely went out of the country. So thousands and thousands of incredibly talented individuals lost their career, lost their job. And so I was like, hey, do you want to work with me? And she's like, sure. And then she was fantastic. And I was like, do you have any other friends? And she goes, yeah, I have a whole crew of friends. And so we were like, all right, cool. Let's bring them on. They're all amazing. And that's kind of how we started. So anyways, long story short, how did we get to Argentina? We decided that now part of our culture is we really need to come together and just like celebrate them. Right. And so we decided to go to Argentina. We had our first company event. There was about 22 that were able to make it. And we just had a huge cookout. We had we hired someone to do a cookout. We hired someone to cook for us, we had drinks, we had all this stuff, and just like gave giveaways and just got to mingle, and just everyone got to meet each other in person. And that was really awesome.
Man, that's, you know what, I wish, we're getting ready to have something like that in December in Canada.
Oh, fun.
Where all of the employees get together for a retreat. So those types of cultures are always great, especially when you never see anybody face to face. So if I were to call you today as a roofing company owner,
yes,
and I wanted to get started with Saenz Global, to be my back office support, how hard is it?
So we do vet out like who we, if we'd be a good fit. And the reason why, it's because through time, we've realized like we want it to be successful both for you and for us, because it's a partnership, right? You're not a number to us. It's really a partnership. Like, shout out to PRQ again. We're in year 2 with them, right? Like, we hope to be with them for many years to come as they're growing. And that's the type of value we want to bring to our owners, right? And there's tons of ROI to that. So which I can explain more. So first, to work with us, you really need to be installing a minimum of 8 roofs per month. And those are full installs, not just like, repairs.
Right.
Yeah. You should already have had an admin or already have an admin. And the reason why is we realize that if you haven't had an admin before, you don't know how to have one.
Right. Or you don't know what you need.
Yeah. And
right.
It's really, really difficult to work with you. And it's really hard to have a successful relationship with that. And then the other one is you have to be using a CRM. So if you're currently not using one, that would be tough as well, because we need to integrate with you. And those are kind of like the 3 qualifications. If you meet all of those, we tend to move forward and show you what we can provide.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I want to add some context to what we were just talking about how you vet your roofing companies and who actually needs that help. And it's those people that we were just talking about who go off and learn how to be great salespeople, but never, ever learn the admin part of it. And they think that they can run a business because they watched a couple of claims go through. So make sure that if you are out there in this world and you want to own a business, go out there and you're already selling, do what she said, get you an assistant or an administrative person that works in your office that you can teach what you need them to do. And then if they don't follow through with what you need, maybe it's time to come to Saenz. I suggest Saenz to almost every single roofer I come in contact with because I know the value of what you bring, but also because there are people out there that own businesses like you that never get a break.
Mm-hmm.
And tell me about your breaks. What do you do to take a break?
Yeah. So when I built this Saenz Global, I said I have to build it so that it can work without me, because that's the true ownership, right? True ownership of a company is that you can not be there and it still functions.
It still runs.
And that's kind of how I built it, where like if I need to, I will take a week or two off or more, and it works beautifully and probably even better when I'm not there, right? Because the team is so exceptional. And so for me, what I do is definitely take off like on vacations. I need to get away so that I can work better on myself. Because again, I feel like to build a good company, a great company continuously, you constantly have to be working on yourself. So I always say healthy leaders have healthy companies, right? And so I tell that to my whole team. If you're leading in our team, you need to be healthy physically, mentally, spiritually, everything, because that's how we can lead people better. It's about raising up leaders. And so that's what I do. That's what I do. So like if you own a roofing company and you have not taken a break, you need to. That's how you're going to build a better company.
Right. Yeah. That's we tend to say that roofers only last 2 seasons.
Yeah.
It's because during those 2 seasons, we burn ourselves out with all of the wrong things.
Right.
And we never put the right things into our lives. We eat terrible.
Mm-hmm.
We drive around in our trucks all day. We don't get proper exercise. We don't go home and sleep at night. Our wives and our kids, or even our husbands, if you're a lady in this space, don't tend to work well together because we're always gone. Especially during storm season. I would leave at 5 a.m. and I wouldn't get home until 10, 11 o'clock at night. And then I had paperwork to do. And so it wasn't acceptable to have a family in that situation because there was no time for the family. It was always go, hustle. Yeah. Let's go make sales. Right. Number one reason that you fail, make more sales. Yeah. but no. What do you do for your exceptional employees that are exceeding? Do you have any special things that you do for them? Yeah. So one thing about our company is that our goal is we always pay everyone really well. So if you know, like some, companies that are international, they tend to be like, we pay our people 30% more than the average in our country. And I'm like, I'm Brazilian. I'm like, do you know what the average in emerging countries are? It's horrible. Even with the 30%. I pay 190% more. Yeah. So really I can't really say like, what do we do for exceptional? Like literally our whole team is exceptional, or they wouldn't be there. And that's the thing about our company. We literally don't accept half-ass anything. If you can't hang, you're out. We don't tolerate any half-ass. Well, are you guys currently hiring? Or are you guys always looking to find better talent? Yeah. So we currently have people on wait. So that's what we do. So we like hire, train, and then if they make it through our tests, we're like, okay, cool. We're waiting. Like as we bring on more team members, that's kind of what we do. Yeah. What would you like to see in this next year? We're coming up on 2023. Do you have any, was it New Year's? Yes, we totally do. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but it is for us. Yeah. We want a minimum of 24 new roofers for the year, which does not sound like a lot, but it is for us. That's 2 a month. Yeah, minimum. But so we kind of minimum 24 new roofers this year. So I think that'll be easy. We're gonna post this podcast everywhere. Let's do it. But no. If you want more information, how do they get a hold of you? Yeah, absolutely. So one, you could go to Saenz Global, which is SAENZ Global, GLOBAL.com, or you can literally go to any of our platforms. So Instagram's, TikTok, Facebook, we're on them. And you can literally just direct message and someone on our team will get with you, or we will send you the link to schedule your call. If you guys have plenty of references, including people, Patrick Carr, Jen Silver, myself, and other people that you're working together with. So I'm TJ McCormack, also known as World's Greatest Roofer around the world. I'm excited that I got to do this podcast with Thais today. It's the first time where I actually got to flip the script and be the moderator. So cool. I didn't mean to steal your podcast, but I wanted you to finally get some of this spotlight because you are doing exceptional things in the world. And one of my missions with World's Greatest Roofer, as you know, is to find the people out there in the world that are doing something great for their company or for their community, and the community that you're supporting as roofers. Yeah. So I truly appreciate what you do for us. And of course, we we'll always be friends. So
Love it.
Yeah. But thank you guys for watching on the Roof It Up podcast. Thais, who's the next person coming up?
Oh, you know who we have? We have Roofs by Don.
Oh,
Donovan. Yeah, he's coming up.
He's a great dude.
Yeah, we're excited.
I loved his cologne commercial with Sydney from the Hook Agency.
Yeah, that was pretty good. That was really good. I smell more leads, right?
I smell like leads.
It was awesome. Very cool.
No doubt. If you guys want to learn more about Roofer, ROOFR.com, reach out to me, TJ at Roofer. And I'd love to get you set up with a demonstration to learn more about what we do.
Yeah. And seriously, we use them and we love them. And not only that, our clients are so happy with them.
You know, it's more about culture. We talked about this last week on my podcast.
Yeah.
But just like in your organization, Richie, our CEO, man, that guy definitely built a great culture.
Yeah.
And we're looking forward to growing to 140, 150 employees this year.
I love it.
So, but great to see you guys. Talk to you guys soon.
All right. Bye.